please welcome Dave Griffin.
I'm just going to tell you about an embarrassing situation that has occurred with me, and I seem to get into them a lot. I don't know whether anybody's ever had to be rescued here, but it was back in the year 2000 when we had the solar eclipse, and I went down to Cornwall with about 50, 60 other friends, and we went to see the
60
eclipse.
friends?
Yeah. Basically, the person that lived there, everybody, you know, anyway. He had a lot more friends than I did. So we're all there, 40 friends. You over-exaggerated, you're right. About 30 or even 20. So we were there. This is the embarrassing story, was that it was just me. Anyway, we were all going down, all of us, to go down on this cliff. And we were walking down this cliff path along, and then I realised about quarter of the way along, I'd forgotten my camera, and it was the eclipse, and I thought, I've got to get pictures. So I said, look, you carry on, I'll run back and get my camera. So I went back, got to my tent, got my camera, got a bottle of water, because it was quite hot that day, ran along, and I took a path that they obviously hadn't taken. They went along this path, and I was sprinting to try and get there in time to see it. And I went down this one, and then as I got closer, I was like, there's a huge cliff coming up. How did they get up there? And then it was like, I got so far down the line that I knew if I went back to where the path started, I was going to miss the eclipse. So I thought, right, I can make this, I can make it. So I started up on this cliff, which going up, and I was about halfway up. I scrambled up, and I was like, this is no problem, this is no problem. And I was about halfway up, and I was going, this is getting a little bit trickier. I started to have to look for holes and places for my feet, and it really got to a point where I would never ever do this in a million years. But I realised I was going to need both hands because I'd had this bottle of water for this whole time. And I was like, it's my life or this water kind of thing. So I went, well, I suppose my life is worth more, and I dropped, which I'm still horrified and have nightmares about, this litre bottle of water into the sea. And I thought, right, I can make it, it's better that I did it. So I climbed up, and I got about 3/4 of the way up, and then I realised I was totally stuck. There was nowhere to go, and I tried to go down, there was nowhere to go, and I was like, there. And I was on the wrong side of the cliff, the sun was over the other side. I was there, and I was contemplating, what am I going to do? And slowly it got darker and darker. And I don't know whether you remember, it was a really weird thing, the eclipse, because all the birds stopped. So any noise, it went completely silent. And I was there against this cliff going, well, this is weird. On my own. I've been there about an hour by now. And then, what was really weird was that as it got totally dark, all the moths started flying up, and I was going, this is fantastic. This is actually an amazing event. I bet nobody else can see this. And these moths were all flying around, and then it began to get light. And I was like, oh, this is beautiful. And all these birds came in, and they all ate all the moths around them. Because they come up in the daytime, and they were all slaughtered. And I was like, I've just seen the meaning of life. And so I was there, and I was like, right. And it got light, and there was still no one, but I could see that there were people walking along this path. I could just see the tops of their heads along this bush. And I thought, this is the point, I'm going to have to shout for help. I've never shouted for help. And it was really embarrassing, and I was sort of going, working up to it, going, help. I'm trying to work out how to say it without really wanting too much help. I'm in a little bit of trouble, but it's not too bad. So don't rush. So I was going, help. And then it got louder, and I began to get more confident. You just need a bit of time. After about 5 minutes of just saying it quite quietly, you began to build a bit of confidence. You start to go, help, help, help. and you get used to it. You get used to it, and I could see people were beginning to notice along this path. And I was shouting, "Help! Help!" And then what I realised was that people could only see me when they went over this stile. Okay, sorry, that's my timer to get off. But I'll just finish with it. But every time they went over the stile, they could hear this noise, but I wasn't saying it at the right time. So they would go back down, their heads would be above their heads, and they couldn't see where I was for help. So I had to work out, as they were walking along, that I would say, "Help!" about 5 seconds before they went on this stile. And then they would see, and I worked it out after about half an hour. Someone finally saw me, and a crowd began to form. I was like, "Yeah, this is great." So I stopped shouting for help, and someone phoned. They said, "I'm phoning for the helicopter." They said, "Oh, apparently loads of people are stuck on cliffs." It's going to be 3 hours before I can come to you. And I was kind of like, "Well, that's fine, it's perfectly all right." And then, unfortunately, a professional rock climber came up above, and he went, "Right, I'm going to come down, I'm going to guide you, I'm going to bring you up." So anyway, fortunately, he came, he climbed all the way down, he got my hand, he put it in the place, and then he said, "Right, put your foot here," and I managed to get up, and I was like, "Bloody hell, mate, I've been up there about 4 hours." And I walked back to the place, to where everybody was at the campsite, and I thought, I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I'm just going to come in casually, they're all going to be so worried and think, "Where the hell have I been?" And I was like, I'm just going to not say much, just say, I just went out the wrong way and things, I was just on the bit of Eclipse. So I walked into the camp, and one person went, "I wondered where you were." I wonder where you are! I've been up at the side of a cliff for 4 hours waiting for help! I made a huge deal out of it. The whole week I would have thought I was mad, but that's it.